Once a child came to visit his grandfather during his summer holidays. One day, he said to his grandpa, "When I grow up, I want to become a successful man. Can you please tell me some ways to be successful, Grandpa?" Grandfather nodded, "Yes," and took the boy with him to a nearby nursery. From the nursery, his grandpa bought him two small plants and came back home. Then he planted one plant in a pot and kept it inside the house and planted another one outside the house. What do you think? Which of these two plants will grow better in the future? Grandfather asked the boy. The boy kept thinking for some time and then said, "The plant inside the house will grow better because it is safe from every danger, while a plant outside is at a risk of many things, like strong sunlight, storms, and even animals." Grandfather smiled and said, "Let's see what happens in the future." After that, the boy left with his parents back to his house. A few years later, the boy came back to visit his grandfather again. When the boy saw his grandfather, he said, "Grandpa, last time I asked you some ways to be successful, but you didn't tell me anything. But this time, you have to tell me." The grandfather smiled and said, "Sure, but first, let's take a look at the plants that we bought and planted a few years back." Saying this, grandfather took the boy to a place where he planted a small plant in a pot. They saw the plant had turned into a tree. Then he took the boy to look at the plant which they had planted outside. There they saw a huge tree stood, its branches spread far and wide, providing shades to passers-by. Now the grandfather looked at the boy and asked, "Tell me which plant grew more? Which is more successful?" The boy replied, "The one we planted outside." "But Grandpa, how is that possible? The plant must have faced so many dangers. Still it grew so big." The grandfather smiled and said, "Yes, plant outside had to face many things, but dealing with problems had its benefits too. Plants outside had the freedom to spread their roots as much as they wanted. Problems like storms made its roots even stronger. Today, it is so strong that a small storm cannot cause any harm to it." And he said, "Son, what I'm about to tell you, always remember it. Then you'll be the most successful person you can be in your life. If you always make comfortable choices, then you will not be able to grow as you can. If you're ready to face this world despite all the dangers, then no goal is impossible for you to achieve. Never think of problems as hurdles, but think of them as steps toward success." The boy took a long, deep breath and stared at the tree, and he understood his grandpa's words. Obstacles which we consider enemies in life, the same obstacles makes us stronger and more successful in life. Similarly, our life is like a great adventure, filled with twists and turns that might seem like obstacles blocking our path. But guess what? These obstacles are like puzzles waiting to be solved. You're listening to Meditation Vala, meditation and mindfulness practices for everyday life. Thank you and stay blessed.